Hey, I want to welcome our viewers to our podcast, Kennesaw Happenings from Overture. We are here in the studio with Wanda Pearson, and you may recognize Wanda from an earlier podcast, but I wanted her to come back and dig a little deeper into something that's kind of dear to my heart that I've had for years and years. So I'm going to ask Wanda to introduce herself, who she is, the company she's with, and who she serves, and then we're going to have a good conversation about some things that I think it'll help our viewers.
Yes.
So Wanda,
Hi, Pete. Thank you so much for having me on your show again.
Mm-hmm.
I truly appreciate it. I must have did a good job the first time.
Absolutely. I've only had one person appear twice so far.
Well, I feel so privileged. But
yes.
Thank you so much.
And that was a golfer. That was a golfer. And your dad's a golfer, but we can't have you as a legitimate golfer. You have a golfer in the family.
Yeah, I'm not the expertise in it. My mother and father played golf, so
yes.
But I like to look.
Yeah, that's look. Long as you have somebody in the family, that increased your chances of being a guest the second time.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. So I'm Wanda Pearson. My business is actually LegalShield, ID show and small business. Mm-hmm. And my passion has always been coming from corporate. After 36 years, when I retired, I wanted to help small businesses. Mm-hmm. And small business was really on my radar. But, I got out there and started networking a lot. And I did the personal business, but also did home-based businesses as well. Mm-hmm. So my passion is to make sure that I educate, empower people to let them know about our services. And our services are so important because it's affordable.
Yes.
And it's really about getting that legal advice when you need it.
Absolutely.
You never know when you need it. So it's always best to have it.
And not need it than to need it and not have it.
Peace of mind.
Yes.
But we call it legal insurance, right?
Yep.
It's legal insurance. You have home insurance, you have auto insurance. Why not have legal insurance? And having legal insurance for your business is so important because it's just picking up a phone, making a phone call, talking to an attorney.
Yeah. And so why don't you tell our viewers, because I've had the personal for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. So for our viewers that have never heard of the concept, how can you have a very small fee monthly and get quality service? How does the viewer have to understand how the system works?
Well, by having the memberships, and I'm going to tell you, the gentleman who created it was Prepaid Legal. Mm-hmm. He realized that attorneys were more expensive, and he needed to have where people had that legal rights to be able to get legal service. So what he ended up doing was going to the different law firms, and the memberships that we all pay, that's how they pay the law firm. So it's not a lawyer, it's a law firm in all 50 states. So having that affordability to us, because he wanted to make sure that we did have it. And Pete, you said 20 some years. Yeah, we've been in it for 25 years. Mm-hmm. I saw the value of having legal insurance to be able to pick up a phone and talk to an attorney about anything, unlimited advice. And it's really been a blessing. We don't use it every day, but I ask people, do you use your auto insurance every day?
No, hopefully you don't. Some teenagers might, but but no.
But just having it and knowing that you can pick up the phone and talk to an attorney. And now we have it so, we have the mobile app, right?
Yep.
You can schedule that call with the attorney. And the good thing about it is that because of my passion with this, I've actually built a rapport with our attorneys here in Georgia, the managing attorney, that whenever I have an issue, my clients have an issue, they let me know, and I send a note to my managing attorney and let them know, because I say it's urgent. My client, that's how passionate I am about my clients. I treat people the way I want to be treated. And small businesses need to have access to that as well. So the benefits we have for small businesses is overwhelming.
So what would you say? I know from, I don't know if it's okay to mention Bob Leonard's name, but he handles traffic for the Deming Law Firm. Okay. And so Bob and I became good friends, not because we liked hanging out together, but my daughters had enough speeding tickets that he was almost on speed dial. And so, the comforting thing for me was, I didn't have to take time off, go down to the court, plead my case. And of course,
Yeah.
I'm not an attorney.
Yes.
Don't pretend to be one. But I enjoyed the fact that I would call Bob up or call the firm up, and Bob handled it. And I said, Bob, it's me again. And he'd laugh, and he'd go to the court and do his thing, and either reduce the fine or send us to not DUI, but defensive driving school, just different things, because he's a household name at the courtyard. I mean, that's like, we don't you think we but we build relationships in business.
Absolutely.
So if you're a business owner out there and like you don't have a relationship with a legal expert, an attorney on staff that'll represent you, then you kind of like have a hole in your team, because we're in a legal society. And so plenty of times there's legal issues that come up and you go, well, I'll just do this. Well, maybe that could get you in trouble. So what would you say, like when you handle, let's talk just business side of it.
Okay.
What is the most common thing that business owners are using with their membership as a small business kind of plan?
Well, that unlimited advice and consultation. You have a legal issue, being able to pick up the phone and talk to an attorney to say, I have this situation with a client, and can I have a legal advice? But another big thing is actually the letters and phone calls made on your behalf. So you have letters and phone calls because that happened with me, where I had to have a letter written on my behalf. And I don't know, Pete, you know how much it costs for an attorney to write a letter?
Probably about $500 to $1,000. It ain't cheap. I know that. Yes.
But also document review.
Okay.
The biggest thing is document review.
Yes.
Having your documents reviewed. Let's say you're moving into a space and it's a leasing agreement. Always have an attorney review those leasing agreements. So that is so important. I had a client that actually had a situation with her landlord. And unfortunately, she didn't really read that, but I said, never sign a document without an attorney looking at it. And just having that access to an attorney, these are just little top ones that we have. We have so many more benefits that you have. That actually pays for your LegalShield. And you asked me about that. So originally, people joined it was prepaid legal.
Right.
So you asked me about that. So it was actually a prepaid legal. We prepaying with the membership, which is very affordable, to the attorney, but not to the attorney, to LegalShield now. And they will actually in turn work with the law offices to be able to give us that discount rate. I do a lot of LLCs as well. And a lot of times people didn't realize that I did that. And that's what I started when I started my W. Pearson Associates with our services. So having access to an attorney, a business attorney, to create that LLC, because I had a situation, and I know I'm getting off track here. I created my own LLC. Well, I did not realize that our services handled that. So I talked to the managing attorney at our law firm and said, Wanda, we do this because LegalShield wants us to do this as a service to our clients. Right. And he said we would charge $700 for this. And with this, with the LLC, they do the LLC, but you also get your 3 months of your membership plus your home business supplement that's included. This is for home business. Then you get your LLC and they do everything for you, because I didn't know when you're doing the LLC, you got to check this box, check that box. You want to make sure when you send it to the state of Georgia or any state that you get all of your information correct. Otherwise it will be returned. And that's what happened to me. It was returned. So that was my passion to say, I got to help people to be able to educate them to say, let an attorney do this for you, instead of you trying to do it on your own.
I know I've had the personal plan for 20 some years. And, I know we talked about the other day when I noticed I was paying 17 and it went to 25, which is still fine. I mean, I'm not, and it had been the first increase in 20 years. So for our business owners out there, I know that's a personal plan. Is there a range of services, or is it a flat rate for small businesses?
It's a range. It depends on how big your company is.
Okay.
So we have the home business supplement, which goes with the legal plan. and that's like $1.50 a day. You know? And then we have the small business, the smaller small business that actually you have two people can authorize to call a law firm, and that ranges from $49 to $169 a month.
Okay.
So take that and say, how much would you pay an attorney to do all? And these are just a few benefits that I gave.
Right.
To do that, and how much would it cost you to call an attorney to write a letter on your behalf? How much would it cost you to have your documents reviewed?
Right.
How much would it cost you just to get the advice and consultation? Also, Pete, we have designated consultations. That means if you have trademarks, copyrights, you can call the law firm and they will give you that advice consultation and tell you exactly what you need to do, or they can do it for you for 25% discount. But either way, it's just having access to that. But another thing, Pete, I don't know if I told you, collection letters. You know, how many times you don't want to write the collection letters? Let the law office write that collection letter for you. That alone saves you a lot of money. Right.
Yeah, there's always a little bit more clout when it comes from an attorney versus you as an individual.
Oh yeah.
People know that you're serious. So did I pick up that you have two people that can access the firm for a company? Is that one of the criteria, like the owner and maybe
the secretary,
or something,
the other co-owner?
Okay.
And that's a smaller plan. That's for like $2, less than $2 a day.
Okay.
And then the bigger plan, it goes up. So as you go up, you actually have 3 designated, and 4 designated people that can call. So you may have the secretary, you may have the accountant, so whoever. So just having access, so when the owner cannot call that law firm, having someone else to call them on your behalf, they can actually ask the questions or get the information or be able to do everything that I just talked about as far as the benefits. Yes.
How does when you have? I noticed that we were talking about everything's gone to a phone in a lot of cases. So there's apps for everything. So explain to our viewers, like, what is the app part of LegalShield helping our viewers to understand how they can leverage their time that way?
Yes. And there's so much, God, people, when we joined this, they didn't have an app.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
So it's so much more convenient because we're busy. We have our busy lives. We don't know when we're going to be able to talk to an attorney. So the app actually helps you to request a consult. You request a consult and you tell them just a summary of the situation so that they can find the right attorney for you. And that's the good thing about it, because our law firm are specialized. They have up to 22 years of experience. So you would give them that information. And then what you would do is schedule a call with them. That's what's nice about it. You can make the phone call still, but schedule a call and they would give you the time frame that the attorney would call you.
Okay.
And the good thing about that now, because sometimes we miss those attorney calls, right? And then you're playing back and forth. Well, now what they do is they text you or they send you an email and say the attorney will be calling you in the next hour. So to be, ready to be able to talk to that attorney. And that's what's more accessible now. I love it because a lot of times you can make the call. I mean, you still have to pick up the phone and call the law office, but at the same time, you have the freedom to say, I can't meet this day. Let me meet next Friday. Right. And that's what's good about the app. And you have to be able to do that.
No, that's really good. I mean, I noticed that I had them in my phone, so I knew when they called that. But the idea that you at your fingertips can manage your calendar or the time that you need to talk to the firm, because we're busy people, and being able to say, well, okay, well, I'm in between appointments this time. This would be a good time to discuss my legal needs and stuff like that. Let's go back to, I like the idea of the LLC, because everybody really has to protect their business. Absolutely. And so is the LLC part of the business plan, or is that one that you get a reduced rate? I was just curious.
That's part of a reduced rate. So that is actually more so people who, and it's just not small bit, but home-based business. So the LLC is actually a separate plan that's actually is it's less than $2 a day, to help you, the attorney, to set up everything for you.
Okay.
And to get the LLC, but also you still have you have your legal plan, which is for your family, but you also have your home business. So everything that I just talked about, the benefits of the small business, you have benefits with the home-based business as well. So it depends on if you have a brick and mortar or a home-based business that you want to have. So the LLC is something that's great, because what they do, the lawyers do, is make sure you have your name is available. Okay, when you get your LLC. And that's what I had a problem with. I had my name picked out. They said, no, somebody's already taken it. I picked out something else. So having the attorney be able to do the research for you to make sure that you're in compliance with everything. And as well as your taxes. You got to make sure, you're in compliance with your taxes, legally, everything that's set up. So they also send everything over to the state of origin, like state of Georgia.
Yep.
For them to be able to file your paperwork. Now that is a separate fee, because the state want to get their money. So the filing is actually usually like a one-time. I mean, it's a little bit higher the first year.
Yeah.
But the second year is half price. So I mean, like now I paid $100 for state of Georgia, but now it's $50 a year, and they send it out. So yeah, just having access to be able to make sure it's done right.
Yeah.
And when I actually when COVID happened, I started doing the entrepreneur, collaboration. I started talking about that as far as the LLC, and people got laid off from their jobs. They said, I'm going to start a business. So I try to help them, and that's when my Wanda Pearson associates come into play. I help them to say, what is your passion? What do you want to do? Because your job is not promised to you. Now it's time for you to have your own passion, your own company, to be able to do what you want to do.
Right.
I mean, I tell you, I do not regret. I'm so happy that I got that training from corporate, but at the same time, I have my own schedule.
Right.
To be able to do what I want to do, and I know it's my company. So having access to that, and having access to be able to create that, and when you see that, now it's like Wanda Pearson LLC. Then you know that you set your business up the right way.
Yeah, and I notice that a lot of viewers don't always calculate their time into the cost of doing things. We think our time is like, hey, we don't put a monetary value on it.
Yeah.
So if you spend half a day setting up your LLC, that's time away from your main business.
Absolutely.
And you have to always think of time being something that is just like anything else. It either, if you don't calculate the time in this, then you'll be kind of misled, like, oh, it's only going to cost me whatever the state charges. No, it's costing you the time it takes for that day. And so if you just think that you can put aside a half a day, especially when you're starting out a business, time is critical.
Oh, absolutely.
You can get distracted very easily. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and the person said it's between 20 and 50 minutes that it takes our brain to reset. So let's just say I call you, you're in the middle of a project, and you don't let it go to voicemail or whatever, and you answer the phone, and then I say, well, Wanda, can you just confirm that we have lunch coming up? And you go, yeah, it's Thursday. And then all of a sudden you go back to working. It's good. Your brain has now shifted away from what you were doing, because that interruption, we don't think of it, but it distracted us enough that our mind now takes a little time to get back to thinking. So
absolutely, you're speaking my language. So that's what I do all the time.
Really? Yeah.
Because I'm helping a client.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of doing some, like now I'm creating my own podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get back to the questions that they asked me. I said, okay, what was I thinking? It's just like, I call it CRS, you forget what you're doing. But that is so true. And time is so important to be able to do it. And when you give up that time that you waste doing that, let the attorney do it for you. And that's what I like about, them creating your own LLC or
Yes.
sending a letter to somebody that owes you money, collection letters. All of that takes time. And when we have a law firm, and I said, we used to say, I'm going to call my lawyer on you when something happens, right? But now having access to a law firm, not just a lawyer in all 50 states, I'm going to say that. So you may be in another state. That actually is beneficial. It's practical. Totally. And it's affordable.
Yes.
Right?
We had on our podcast actually last week or the week before, but Joy was an attorney and just, and so there's nothing wrong with our viewers, getting educated. We want you to understand that you have options out there. And there's always pluses and minuses to everything. And you just have to understand for your own sake, does it make sense that I spend money here and not here? And there's certain situations that you want an attorney, but understand you're going to pay to get that. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying investigate, check out things.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to tell our viewers, how do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me at my email, and I'm going to give you a simple email. Wanda Pearson, WandaPearson @att.net. Our actually website is Dennis, my husband. Dennis Pearson, DennisPearson. WeAreLegalShield.com.
Okay.
But I would love to have a conversation with you because I'm always an educator. I need to make sure that my clients, prospects are getting the right service that they need. My phone number is 678-761-5781. And I'm a connector. I'm a collaborator. So definitely I want to make sure that the prospect, the client have the right information and getting the right, the plan that's best for them. So that is so important. And if you do want to set up an LLC, call me and I will talk to you as far as consult and educate you as well.
Awesome. Well, for our viewers that are driving, we don't want you to risk pulling out a pen and trying to jot that down. So in the show notes, we're going to put some links in there to how you get a hold of Wanda and Dennis. And definitely if this fits your needs and you want to know more, then get a hold of them and you'll be able to get that. So Wanda, I always love to close out with an insight that you can leave our viewers with. So what can you leave our viewers with today?
Well, I just want to make sure that you know that you have choices. Like people saying, you have choices. And educating them is the most important, to know that you got the right choices that you make there. We always want to have a business. We have a business. How do we start a business? So having access to a law firm to be able to ask those questions is so important. So I want to make sure that they know that our services are affordable, but at the same time, I am here to help, as far as being able to answer those questions. They may say, well, I had a situation this way. So calling me and letting me know what I can help you with is so important to me, but also to you. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to connect with you. And I truly thank you, Pete, for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Wanda, for taking time out to come over and be with us and help our viewers understand their options in the marketplace.
Thank you.